Good afternoon from Edie White. We are your hosts, Megan and Lindsay.
A lot of things are starting up at school, and a few other events are coming to a close. Third quarter exams will take place next week, Tuesday through Friday. In the Catholic community, it's Lent, and our campus ministry is providing services for different areas in need.
Edie White Color Guard had their first ever virtual performance this year, with senior Abigail LaRose making Crossmen, a world-class drum corps that she will perform with over the summer.
Stay tuned for our next segment. When we will return, we will air our teacher spotlight.
Welcome to All In, your one-stop shop for all of Nichols news.
You're listening to 91.5 KNSC Thibodeau, your local alternative.
Know you got haters, but raise both hands up if you know that you're greater. Now raise one hand up if you know you got haters, but raise both hands up if you know that you're greater than them.
Miss Jane Falgoo is an Edie White alumnus who teaches Algebra 2 and Geometry classes for juniors and sophomores. We asked her a few questions about her career, and here's what she said.
What made you want to become a teacher?
So when I was in high school, we didn't have as many choices as you guys have for the honors and advanced classes. But in the math classes that we did offer, I was in all of those honors classes. And in many cases, the teacher would teach a skill, and several kids around me would not know what to do, and I was always helping them. So I think at that point, it's when I realized that that this might be something that I would be able to do.
Was there a certain age that you wanted to teach?
It was always high school. It was never younger than high school. I knew that I would be able to reach kids that were older. I just think that they are special people in this world to teach younger kids, and I just am not one of those people.
What led you to teach at Edie White?
So, after 21 years of teaching in public schools, I had an incident where I'd taken a class to a computer lab, and in many cases we didn't have some of the technology to send documents that we do here. So the only way I could get a document was to use a scanner on my phone and email it to myself. And I was working in a lab. I was not in my classroom. I did not have anything in which to put my personal belongings away. And apparently one of my students stole my cell phone. And I just never really thought I would have to deal with that. In 21 years, it was never an issue of worrying about my own personal safety or my belongings or things like that. That's just not something I ever thought I'd have to deal with. And when that happened, and I didn't exactly get a whole lot of help from the people there, that was just kind of like a message from God to me saying, it's time for you to go.
What is your favorite part about teaching?
I love teaching when I know that I can see when a student understands it. It's like a light bulb goes off. Really honestly, my most favorite part is when I see one student helping another. And even though they may say exactly what I said, but in a different way, like to me, that's it, because that's what it's all about. And that's what got me started. Sometimes a kid can explain something to another in just a different way. You're using a different lingo, you're using different terminology, but you understand it better because it's someone on your level.
What motivates you to wake up and choose to teach every day?
Honestly, because I'm a clown. So they have a lot of students that they know I'm a clown. I know we're going to laugh at some point, and some classes don't, and that's okay. But just to know that we're going to have fun. We're going to learn too, but we're going to have fun and enjoy the day at some point.
And lastly, what is something that you want your students to remember about you?
Well, I want them to be able to say that I'm a good teacher, but more than that, I want them to say that I made them laugh and smile. And so, to me, you don't always remember people for what they tell you. You remember people for how they make you feel. And as long as I can have people leave my class, and when they remember me, they smile or they laugh and they crack up hysterically, that's my main thing.
Thank you.
When we come back, we will look at our senior spotlight. Stay tuned.
Up the bayou and down the bayou. It's how we tell you to get from one place to the other. It's a little different, but so are we. We're real Cajuns, and once you get here and travel up and down the bayou, you'll begin to understand why our Cajun runs a little deeper. Lafourche Parish, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou, where the bayou stretches over 100 miles and flows through our communities, shaping our traditions, culture, and our stories. Most of us have been here for generations, making the most of our rich landscape. We work hard up and down the bayou. Many of our lives are defined by it. As shrimpers and fishermen, oyster shuckers and chefs, net makers and boat builders. We celebrate life on Louisiana's Cajun Bayou through our culture, our food, our music, and the natural, unpolished beauty, and in the handing down of knowledge and heritage. No matter where you go or what you do along Louisiana's Cajun Bayou, you'll find a piece of our story in the places you go and the people you meet. And as sure as the bayou flows to the Gulf, we want to share it all with you. Come as a visitor, and you'll return as family. We are Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. Rich, natural, unapologetically Cajun. Just south of New Orleans, where Cajun runs deep.
The school year will soon be coming to a close, but Edie White has accomplished so many things throughout this year. Here are a few seniors in the class of 2021 sharing their plans for after graduation.
Over the past 5 years, us seniors have made many memories that will mold our path for the future. Some of us have excelled in sports and others in academics. Let's see where some of our seniors are going to continue their careers.
I'm going to Central College in Iowa, and I'm going to study exercise science. I'm going to Auburn University for swimming and majoring in finance.
I'm going to the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, where I'll be running cross country and track and majoring in kinesiology.
I'm going to Emmanuel College for swimming and I'm majoring in business.
I'm going to Delta State University to play soccer. I'm going to do pre-med and major in biology.
I'm going to the University of Arkansas to major in biology on the pre-med track.
As we get closer to our final days as high schoolers, it's important to know what to check off our list when finalizing that college decision. Ms. Monte has given us a few things to remember to do.
Seniors should be doing right now, applying for scholarships. Check the list on Plus Portals. It's updated constantly. Seniors should also be taking the ACT for the final time, either in April or June. Registration deadlines are coming up soon. If you haven't already, you should be completing the FAFSA for TOPS eligibility and for other forms of federal financial aid. You should also make your college choice and submit enrollment deposits if need be. Students should also be reviewing their financial aid packages from universities and accepting or declining the offers that are given to them. You should also be submitting your housing deposits and choosing roommates if you're living on campus, attending orientations either virtual or in person to schedule your classes for the fall. Seniors will also need to tell us where to send your final transcripts at the end of the school year, and I'll have a survey for you guys to complete that will tell me where everything needs to go. Also, you should be keeping your grades up in these last few weeks of high school. And finally, enjoy your time as a high school senior.
When we return, we will talk about the importance of one Catholic tradition with some of our teachers.
With personal protective equipment running short in the midst of the COVID-19 outbreak, a local group has stepped into the fray. SOS, Saints on Sewing Machines, is a group of volunteers who are sewing masks for the Tri-Parish area medical facilities. Dana Morvant, a nurse for almost 40 years, received a call in mid-March from a friend who directs a nursing home. She reported that her staff was improvising masks using paper towels and tape. Morvant and Mary T. Keese were approached by Dr. Ann Boudreau of Preferred Pediatric, who was also looking for help. They created a Facebook group to let others know that the need existed. The group consists of 254 members and continues to grow. Some people sew, some people cut fabric, some people wash and iron. Others act as runners. To date, the group has produced about 1,000 masks, which they have shared with organizations ranging from hospitals, hospices, nursing homes, and doctors' offices to funeral homes. Keese says that the pattern process has been streamlined, as they've learned. They now make a 3-layer product that offers good protection and is more efficient to mass produce. The time it takes to produce a mask varies among the group. Some take about 20 to 30 minutes to make a single mask, while others can churn it out at 100 in a day. But the pair say all are greatly appreciated. The variance is not surprising in that while some came to the project with experience, at least one member of the group had never sewn before. She was inspired, purchased a machine, and learned how to use it from YouTube. Morvant and Keese said there's plenty of opportunity for those who want to join the effort. They take donations of time, talent, and treasure. For more information on how to help, see the SOS Saints on Sewing Machines group on Facebook. Donations may be sent by Venmo at dmorvant1. Reporting for the Colonel Media Group, I'm Camellia Young.
At E.D. White, holding up Catholic tradition is a big part of our school. In accordance with the Lenten season, teachers responded to questions about common practices of the season of Lent.
What is the main focus of Lent?
So the main focus of Lent is to pray, fast, and alms give. And in doing that, we are able to unite ourselves to Christ and to the sufferings of Christ. And we can spend these 40 days in the desert with the Lord.
Why is fasting so important?
So when we fast, we are depriving ourselves of all of our worldly desires, maybe not all of them, but some of our worldly desires. And instead, we're able to focus more on the things that the Lord has in store for us, or the things that the Lord is calling us to.
What is the main focus of Lent?
The main focus of Lent is obviously Christ and his love for us and what he did, his outpouring love is what we need to strive for every single Lent.
And what should we work on during this time?
Definitely work on being closer in prayer. Truth is brief, words can be manipulated, and the only time that we can truly be in touch with God is in silence and through prayer.
And why is fasting so important?
Fasting is very important because it's that sacrifice. It's that sacrifice that God gave for us and that sacrifice that we have to give for Him. So that one penance that you give yourself every Lent is a daily reminder saying, I'm sacrificing this pain or this struggle for you, God, because everything that we do has to be in His name.
What is the main focus of Lent?
The main focus of Lent is to unite in the sufferings of Christ through prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. Just being more intentional about our day-to-day struggles and not complaining about them, but rather offering them up in union with Christ's sufferings.
And what should we work on during this time?
I think we should work on being a little bit more merciful to each other. I'll up in the Divine Mercy Chaplet, and so that's a good reminder of the fact that Christ is so merciful with us even when we fail, and so we should be merciful with each other.
And why is fasting so important?
Fasting is important because it gives us an opportunity to see the things that we are too attached to and identify those things and then offer up those things in union with Christ's suffering as well.
What is the main focus of Lent?
I think that the main focus of Lent is the journey that we take with Jesus. And we know that the end of his journey is the cross, but also the resurrection 3 days later. So how are we going to take that journey with him? Do we follow him or do we walk beside him? To just reflect on that, and where is our journey taking us?
And what should we work on during this time?
I think during this time, that is a personal question. Like, anyone can work on what they deem they need to work on during Lent. It could be suffering, it could be their prayer life, it could be finding joy in things. It's not necessarily a time to be sad or to suffer always. So, whatever it is that you need to work on internally, you have 40 days to give it a good try.
And why is fasting so important?
I think fasting is important because it is important to understand how to do without, so that when you have the things that you're doing without, you see the value in them. And it's not just fasting from food, it can be fasting from shopping, it could be fasting from your phone, it could be fasting from anything. And I think what you can kind of turn it around and equate it to is that if we fast for 40 days from something, we fasted for 3 days from Jesus, when he died till when he rose again. So we knew what it was like to be without, but then when we got him back on that third day, how good it was to have him. And I think it reminds us of that.
Girls basketball came to a close as they lost in a hard match to St. Louis last Thursday. Boys basketball played their first round of playoffs on Tuesday. Boys soccer ended their season last Thursday after their game against Lusher Charter with a final score of 2-1. Fall and winter sports teams have had successful endings to their seasons. Here are some highlights.
Sports is an important part of high school. They enable us to interact with our school more and give us lessons to learn. This year, COVID-19 has impacted all players and completely changed the game. Thankfully, our boys soccer team was lucky enough to play all the way into the finals. With a record of 14-4 and a ranking of number 13 in the state runner-ups fought hard into the last second. I wanted to interview Coach Roger Bema on his experience this year and his overall career.
And then what made you come here to coach?
Well, I was helping to coach the boys team at Nichols, and then I got a job coaching in Alabama, and I went there and stayed about 10 years, and then I came back. After about 3 years, decided I needed a new challenge, a new beginning to go to. So I was offered a job at Shaw High School in New Orleans, and I took that. And about 6 years later, Katrina wiped out the city, so I lived in Thibodeau, so I saw Coach Preston Lejeune, and he asked me if I was interested in coaching here, and I came over. Mr. Boudreau, who was the principal at that time, inquired about me coming and helping, and so I ended up here in 2007.
How many times did you say y'all have gone to state?
We've gone to the state 3 times since 15, 17, and now 15, 18, and 20. We've been to 4 semifinals and 3 state finals.
What did y'all have to prepare for most?
Well, we knew that they were a very good team, very athletic and fast, and passed the ball really well. We knew we had to defend well. And even though they dominated the first periods of the game, we still kept them off the scoreboard. And we made some mental mistakes that scored, and they scored, but we really defended and held them really, really good during the first half. And we made a few adjustments here, and our guys got their footing into the game. And we won the second half, pretty much, but we just didn't capitalize on our chances. We had a penalty kick miss, and then we scored on a throw into the box. I don't know if that would have any effect on the outcome, but momentum in high school is a big thing for our young players.
And then with COVID, were y'all expecting a season at all?
We didn't think we were going to play for a while. We missed 2 weeks of the season and 3 games that I thought hurt us as far as team experience. Guys getting 3 games in, especially the young guys. But the older guys toughened up and they pulled everybody together, and we played really well. Our last 3 or 4 games, we played really well. We scored 4 goals in the regional, 4 in the quarters, and 4 in the semis. And we were really finishing our shots. And I don't know what happened. Pretty much in the finals, we just didn't have the right sort of composure around the goal to take our chances. Mm-hmm. And that's because of nerves and inexperience. Hopefully the guys learn from that, and next year and the next couple of years, when we build on our cycle of trying to get back in another couple of years, we will pull from those experiences and help calm us down, and maybe we'll be able to play a little better and compete more.
For the boys, what do you think their biggest strengths are?
Just the boys have been together for a long time. Our 7 seniors have been playing since they were like 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
And the togetherness and the friendships and the hard work that they put in together, I think that's one of the things that helped those guys in the end pull it out there, and they got us into the finals.
Thank you for watching, and remember, go Cardinals!